like to call the meeting to order. Roll call.
Councilman Samaluka.
Here.
Councilwoman Dominio.
Here.
Councilman Garrett.
Here.
Councilman Accomando.
Here.
Council President Mason.
Here. Please rise for the salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Adequate notice of this meeting has been sent to all council members and to all legal newspapers in accordance with the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975.
The public is hereby advised that any statements made during the meeting of the Township Council of the Township of Saddlebrook may not be privileged or protected, and that persons or entities who take issue with such comments or are offended by same may and have in the past sought legal redress through the courts. Any member of the public who addresses the council speaks for themselves, not for the council.
A motion to open the meeting to the public?
Motion.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Meeting is now open to the public. Anyone wishing to be heard, please come up and state your name and address.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Former Council President Omar Rodriguez, 275 Madison Avenue. Thank you for the invite, Mayor. I just would like to say a few remarks. I haven't been here for a long time. And I'm just surprised to hear about the construction of the new municipal facilities. Even though there is a second reading and it will be more time to be open to the public later on, I just would like to ask a few questions about this. Not too long ago, when I was a council president, or part of the council, we were trying to purchase across the street a building. And it was more or less like $500,000, the cost of that with parking and everything. We didn't purchase it because we thought that the right thing to do was to take the question to the voters. Because the voters, which are the children of your children, will end up paying for the longest time for this development. I wonder what the urgency is on building, or purchasing and building this development. There are a lot of questions. One of the questions that I have is a building that has been closed for so many years. Who assures you that that building is not going to decay? Who assures you that that building is sound? You can hear whatever you want. They're going to tell you whatever you want to hear. But that's not the truth. Why are you going to give the same developer that you're going to buy the property the rights to build it? I believe that's the silliest thing to do. First, it should be put up to the voters for a referendum. When the Board of Education needs $300,000 or $400,000, they go up to the voters, and we, the voters and taxpayers, decide whether it's the right thing to do or not. Once again, the building across the street, the entire building with the parking and everything, was for sale for $500,000, and we wanted to buy it. But due to the fact that we needed to go and ask the voters, that's when not all the council were able to make the right decision at the time. We are tired of what professionals tell us. I'm not saying about the professionals here, but the professionals where we going to purchase the property from. They're going to tell you whatever you want to hear. First, how many times the professional have lied to us? I'm not going to mention all of them because it will take my 3 minutes and 10 more minutes. Look at the field. How long did it take? What a mess. Let's talk about Colwell Avenue. How many years? And we bought it from the same developer, which I had nothing against them. But it was so, put a question mark there, some kind of fishy, a rush to order the purchase of the property for $150,000, if I'm not mistaken. How many years it took to build? We gave the hope, with this I finish, the false hope to Saddlebrook residents. The Saddlebrook residents will be living there. Out of the 30 units, just 4 residents of Saddlebrook. I wish that one of you tell me that I'm wrong. Thank you. And if I don't see you, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, especially a healthy one.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Chris Sloma. I reside at 33 Franklin Avenue, and I'm the fire chief of Saddlebrook. I'd like to take this time to thank the mayor, the council, for the continued support for my last 2 years as department chief. The Saddlebrook Fire Department is strictly made up of volunteers. We answer 400 calls of service a year and respond 24 hours a day to any incident. We are here today to support the new proposed township building, consisting of township offices, rec center, court, ambulance corps, and the Hook and Ladder Fire Company. A brief little history lesson here. In 1946, Hook and Ladder Firehouse was built on Market Street. The building went through many modifications to keep up with the times, commonly joked about as the house that Jack built. The last modification was in 2010, when then Mayor Louis D'Arminio authorized construction for a new ladder truck by building out the rear wall. The police department, the courts records department moved out of the building in 2006 because of mold and environmental issues. We have made it work for the past few years, but we are currently nearing costly repairs. We look forward to our new building and meeting with the township officials and the architect to create the necessary building for the future of our department. As I stated many times before, I am, and the members behind me tonight, are taxpayers first, and we know the difference of need versus want. We are in need of a new building for the future of our fire department. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to be heard?
Larry Tychek, 92 Claremont. Just to piggyback on what the fire chief said, there's a need for certain things, and there's also a cost. When we live above our means, and that's what we're doing here for $28 million, that's way above more than anybody would ever dream of spending to build a firehouse, town hall, a rec center, or whatever. I think it could be done for half the price, probably, and half the project. And everybody would be happy, everybody would be satisfied, the buildings would be modern. To go that route, and like I say, take an old building and to retrofit it, like I say, I know the four walls are gonna stand, is the roof gonna be new, is the heating and ventilation gonna be new, is all that stuff gonna be new, so we're just leaving 4 cinder block walls? Why don't we just knock it down and start from scratch? Okay? I know people say that you don't want the person that's selling you the property to do the construction or whatever, but me personally, I think we could do a lot better and do it a lot cheaper and do it within, and live within our means, and everybody would be happy. Fire department, ambulance corps, town workers, rec center, whatever we have to do. And also not throw this property away, because as we went over numbers last month, this gentleman here refuses or forgot to say the lost revenue that we're losing off that building. Every 4 years is $1 million. You shake your head and you do whatever you want, but we're the ones that pay your salary and we pay the bills in this town. Okay, so it's not funny and it's disrespectful for the way you sit there as a professional. It's $1 million that comes out of our pocket. Like I say, the senior housing, we lost $150,000 a year there for 7 years. These all add up, and these are all added expenses that come to the residents. And we're the ones that foot the bill. Like I say, we're taxpayers first, or whatever it wants to be. But we gotta pay the bills. And to me, I think we can have a tighter control and do less spending there, and I think we can do a better job by not rushing. Like I say, the senior housing was a rush job, had to be purchased the last meeting in December. The property sat there for 7 years. This is a rush job here. Don't ask me why. And all we were allowed, through all the hearings, we were allowed to speak for 3 minutes. 3 minutes on a $28 million property. There was one meeting I came up here I was the only one that spoke. And you're gonna spend $28 million of our money, and you're gonna give me 3 minutes to talk? And that's all you're gonna give the residents? I mean, for a project that size, we should be able to come up here for days and ask questions, and you people should be able to shoot out the answers. We didn't receive many answers from you people. You didn't speak about the building. You didn't enlighten us on anything that we're doing. It was all the professionals. And like Omar says, I'm tired of the professionals. Like I said, we can't pave roads. We cannot build a $28 million project. You
Larry,
got a
please wrap it up. Your
guy
time is
here
up.
tonight in the work session, we're waiting a year for the core samples, okay? And he's gonna get them from the company, they're gonna do their own. That's like the dogs watching the hens. You can't, you gotta do your own stuff, and you gotta supervise things, and you gotta be on top of things. We're on top of nothing. We believe the professionals.
Thank
And
you, Larry.
We're getting
Time is
taken
up.
down the wrong road.
Thank
But
you.
like I say, Phil, for what we're spending, we should be entitled to more than 3 minutes up here.
Well, you
And
had-
we
you
should.
had-
And obviously, you people were afraid to put it on a referendum, because I believe, and you believe,
Okay.
that it would have went down.
It's your opinion. Anyone else wishing to be heard?
Hi, my name is Diana Puliafito. I'm a resident in Saddlebrook.
Joey, you can
Already
adjust
gone.
your microphone, push it down a little. There
A
you
little
go.
bit lower. There you go. I've been living here. We're going from 3 to 4 years already. We bought the property on 608 North Midland Avenue. Every time it rains, it gets flooded because there's an easement in my backyard, and it goes into a creek that goes to North Midland Avenue. Floods Old Wilson Street and everything else. We know how everything gets flooded there. With the years, it's been getting flooded more and more. I had the promise from Mr. White that we were gonna come into a solution. Now, the solution that I have, it's me hiring an engineer and paying the engineer a certain amount of money. It's over $3,000 for a topography of my land in order to fill up, and then I'll get a solution from the town to seal the water drains that are going through my backyard. There's 2 of them, one in each end of my backyard. Now, I don't have that type of money to fix that, and I was promised a solution. All I asked for is for my land to, if the town can please, refill my backyard, because I'm just getting a sinkhole there. Every time it rains, all the water takes all the dirt out of my backyard. I have 2 little kids, and I get a lake view in my backyard every time it rains. I don't know how to solve this anymore. I don't know what to do anymore, and I'm just asking for a solution for this.
Okay, Mayor.
2 weeks ago, there was a rain. We actually followed Wilson Avenue because it was flooded, and we realized that the creek, it's filthy with a lot of dirt and with a lot of plants in it. Nobody is cleaning that. There was a man that was there that came out because we were actually looking at that, and we were filming it and taking pictures to send it to the town. And he told us that actually, that place right there, it gets flooded all the time, and the town doesn't do nothing about that. They never cleaned the creek. So,
I wish the town engineer was here. Our regular engineer is not here tonight. He's been working on this for a while. I don't believe, do you know anything about Midland Avenue? I'm sorry, 608? 608.
but it's
North
been,
Midland,
we're
yeah.
going into 4 years already, and
Well, my
house
understanding
got
is that the town did do something. The engineer went there and looked at it and
They
came
put
up with a
plywood
solution. Excuse me?
they put plywood
Right,
in the.
but hasn't it been better since then? Because.
No, my house got flooded. My house got flooded, when was it? Last summer.
Because I was told by the engineer that whatever he did assist and with the problem. And now it's your problem as the homeowner because over the years, you developed a big dip in your backyard.
Yes.
So that's
My
why it's-
backyard has a
but
crack in
that's
one of
why-
the corners.
That's why it's filling up with water.
My garage has a crack
Right.
in the wall.
The problem that the town had was those 2 drains coming from that Rosario Court.
Rosario Court.
And once those were sealed, you're getting a lot less water. Now it's water that's collecting in this big basin.
No, it's water that's coming out of the drains. They're coming out. I can show you videos of the pressure of the water coming out.
Well, let me
One
ask
of
you,
the
what
drains-
did the engineer say to you? Because I know
He
the
told
engineer
me-
has spent a lot of time on this. So I don't have the answers because he's not here. I wish he was because I'm sure.
I have the letter where he's asking me to get an engineer on my side because it's
because-
private property,
Ma'am,
which is
ma'am,
not because it's an
yes,
easement.
because if it's on your property,
But
it's your
it's an easement.
responsibility.
Easement is a public property, isn't it?
I don't believe
and-
so. I believe if it's an easement and it's on your property, you're responsible for it. to
For
take
what
care
I
of it.
read, an easement is public property, and
But-
those
but what
two
you wanna
storm
do-
drains,
But
they're
what you want
not.
to do is you want to fill in your whole yard, right?
I want to fill in the hole I have because of the water taking all the dirt. If you walk into my backyard, there's a sinkhole because every time it rains, I
But
get
that's
a lake
developed
there,
over
and-
years. That's
yes,
developed over years.
But it's getting
And it needs
worse
to
and
be
worse.
filled in, and that would make it better, and drainage,
Yes.
and some drainage.
Now, the engineer
to be
is telling
done.
me that I need a topography. I need to hire
What
an
you need is
engineer.
you need to go before the zoning board, and you need to hire an engineer and come to the zoning board with a plan. That's what he's telling you. That's what I believe he's telling you.
He told me to
he-
hire an engineer.
I know, to file an application before the zoning board.
He told me to put it out of my pocket in order for the town to solve my problem.
Well, I highly doubt that he said that you had to take it out of your
Well,
pocket.
if
I
I'm
know,
hiring
I
an
know, I
engineer,
know
that
the
means-
engineer, and that wouldn't be his language, okay? I'm not trying to argue with you, but.
I'm not
he-
arguing, I'm just.
Right, he didn't say go in your pocket. He said it's your responsibility, I would imagine, right?
But this is a town, I mean, this is not my water, this is an encroachment, I mean, the water that's coming into my backyard.
I'm sorry the interruption, Mr. White.
Sure.
I am her husband. The problem is my English is shortly learned.
I can understand you,
But,
that's fine.
I apologize for my English, but really we have a very serious problem with the flooding. And now the solution that was proposed the town to us is that we spend 3,000 money in topography. And after that topography, the engineer give to us the solution. And the answer from the engineer say, I don't know if the town approved my own solution. But what happening, why 3,000, if we spend 3,000 in topography? It's your problem.
What
And
we,
now-
what we need
You
to do,
understand?
yeah,
So,
believe me,
sorry
I
for-
understand the
sorry
problem,
for
I
the
understand.
interruption, But
How about this?
We think now every storm is more flooding, and now at the first year, just the flooding of the garage. Then the second year is inside the garage, and now the third year inside the house now. And the last biggest storm in August started the water coming to my garage. I don't know if you want that in my house, but it's 3 or 4 feet deep, the water. And it's very sad for us to wake up at 2 in the morning. I start to fill with soil for prevent damage in our basement for the water coming from the town. You understand me?
I
The
believe me,
water
I
coming
understand,
from the
and I
town,
sympathize
our
with you, I
When we
do.
purchased that house, they told us that according to the FEMA map, it was non-flooding.
Well, it's not in a flood zone.
Yeah, when we
believe.
buy the house, it's very important for us checking the FEMA map, and our lot don't show it's a flooding zone. It's a little far away.
This is water that's
I
coming
think
from.
the issue was involving those drains that came from Rosario. Court.
Isn't
Let-
there a
let-
way to
Mr.
seal
White,
that?
Mr. White, do you
Let's
know
even-
that you can fix our problem?
I would,
Please,
listen,
do
I'm
something for
gonna
us.
guarantee you this. We will sit down, okay, you two, myself, the town engineer, and the business administrator, and we'll try to iron it out. You know, I think what he's saying, and again, I wish he was here because he would explain it better, but, part of the problem is the town's problem, and part of the problem is you, the homeowner, your
Please,
problem,
working
okay?
together,
So,
please,
right,
work.
work together. It is gonna be costly to do what, do what needs to get done on your property. Now, if the council, after we meet, if the council wants to consider maybe paying for that,
understand
we'd
what
have to
you're
see what the engineer says and,
I understand you
and
when you
what.
say it's our problem.
I mean, it is an
it's our
easement, I
problem.
kind of feel, that it's an easement, and I know that it's still your responsibility, even though it's an
Yeah,
easement,
but the
to maintain
is
it.
supposed to take out the water, don't.
But I
fill up the
feel for
water
you on
to
that,
water.
because if there's an issue with the easement, then I can see that maybe it is somewhat the town's responsibility. I would like to, I really want to help you, I want to resolve this problem.
Okay.
I wish, you could have come in, we could have done this sooner as far as meeting, because that, we need to talk about this for a while.
Sure.
And at a public meeting, it's
No,
difficult.
it's-
No, but I appreciate you coming because,
I'm sorry for.
you
seeing my wife
you
alone
feel
the
feel
first
like,
time because
you
It's very
weren't
merry
answering.
for me not stay close to her at the first time. Very merry.
Right, no, you feel like you have a problem and it's not being resolved, I get that, I do. I
Okay.
just, I know that, the last I heard, it was months ago, I assumed that everything was pretty much resolved, but the engineer, it's not, so.
Yeah, and now another thing.
I mean, it's
is
been a
that-
while, let me ask you, when was the last time you contacted my office? I'm interested to know, because
3 months.
I need to take action.
When was the last summer, actually? I asked for all the papers.
Oh, when August 2 was
Yeah.
the biggest storm. The August 2, I remember the
Okay.
last biggest storm. Okay, the water coming into my
Basement.
basement.
Right, I do remember my secretary telling me about that.
Yeah.
And we did call the
Another
engineer
thing,
and-
that the pipe is broken too, because 2 feet away to the grill, the pipe is open, have a gap in between the 2 pipe. Entonces, it's not our responsibility if the pipe is broken too.
The pipe
because-
of the easement, I mean, the.
Yes,
the
if
water.
that's the case, you're right.
But when you send to make one inform about the camera, I don't know what system you use it, the people say
They told us that it wasn't
que the
broken.
pipe is not broken. Pero I have a proof that the pipe is broken, have a gap 2 inches.
We have pictures in the camera with, we were actually poking the hole where it is to show it where it was.
We don't know what I need to do because I
So
know,
Miss-
I know.
Yeah,
you
we're
put-
gonna, you know what,
I know you put our best, pero I don't know see another people put the good information to you. You understand me?
right. We need to sit down with them, and we'll schedule a meeting.
Okay.
I know my
Appreciate that.
secretary has the number. We
So
will,
sorry,
she will
everybody.
call you.
No.
No, don't be sorry at all. I mean, you have a legitimate complaint, so.
Hi, Larry. Oh, you don't have to put your 2 cents in.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
For the chance.
Thank you.
They will. Anyone else
Thank you.
wishing to be heard? Don't see anyone. Motion to close?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Okay. Mayor, comments?
Okay. Tonight, we have an ordinance, a second reading, authorizing the purchase of 55 Mayhill Street, which we heard from 2 residents tonight about. I personally feel, and I think the council agrees, that we have considered numerous alternatives. We've weighed the pros and the cons regarding this particular purchase and that we're gonna do and build to suit. We've heard from the taxpayers, many of them over the last 9 or 10 months, and we're confident that it's a good investment. We wouldn't be doing it otherwise. We also have, for first reading tonight, rezoning of Midland Avenue by Midland Commons along 46, Midland Avenue and 46, where the apartments are. I'm gonna have Pete talk about that a little bit more. It's first reading, but in new business. Also, a swimming pool ordinance, which I'll have Mr. Samaluka, he introduced the ordinance, so he can talk about that. We have a resolution on authorizing me to sign Bergen County Community Development Grant Agreement to resurface Rochelle Parkway. Public Service, Gas and Electric is going to start paving roads where gas mains were replaced in the north end of town. So that, depending on the weather, they may or may not move forward with that. We're supposed to get some snow coming shortly, so I don't know what that's gonna do. They probably won't pave, obviously, if it's, if the weather's bad. If not, they'll do it in the spring. We're planning on doing half the roads they were planning on doing half the roads before the winter and the other half in the spring. Tenants have been moving in the senior housing building. Our numbers are, it's approximately 10 Saddlebrook residents or people that are related to people that are Saddlebrook residents. So a total of 10, which is a third. The township is distributing new recycling containers to every homeowner. 1 per household, multiple family houses will get 1 per apartment. They should start this weekend on Saturday. Notice about recycling will be given out with the pails. The DPW is gonna be handing them out, starting this Saturday. Saddlebrook Library is forming a Friends of Library Committee. The goal of that is to extend resources to better serve the public, to extend the library's capacity through donations, volunteer work, support, and advocacy. We had a lot of events in October. I'd like to just briefly go over. The Unico Street Fair was Sunday, October 6th. Also, that same date, we planted a tree in the back of the rear of the library for Addie Goldshaw. again, that was the same date. We had a law enforcement, we didn't, but the county, Bergen County Freeholders had a law enforcement heroes dedication on Wednesday, October 16th. I was invited to go to that. They had a moment of silence in memory of our police officer, Michael Giuliano, who passed away recently. They also had me say a few words about Michael, and it was an honor to do so. There was a bell dedication at First Reformed Church on Sunday, October 20th. Myself and some of the council members attended that. We had the senior Halloween party on Monday, October 22nd at the VFW. That was always a nice event for our seniors. Trunk or treat was Saturday, October 26th at the high school. For the little ones, Drums from Heaven fundraiser was Saturday, October 26th. Tommy Hayes was here last month to talk about that. He does a fantastic job doing these events, and he donates all the funds that he makes, this time to a charity. This time it was Saddlebrook Food Pantry and the Center for Food Action. We had the Halloween decorating contest. The winner's first place was the Ciano family, 73 North Leswing. Second place was the LaFavre family, 76 Oxford. And the third place was the Kern family on 73 Rochelle Parkway. The winners all receive a special recognition gift in the mail. Congratulations to all of them. Upcoming events. This Sunday, VFW is having a pasta and meatballs dinner night from 2 to 6 p.m., and that's at the Post. That's, again, this Sunday. Also, Veterans Day service is Monday, November 11th at the Mayhill Circle, 11 a.m. The town is, the Mayor's Youth Group and Recreation Departments teaming up and doing a movie night, Aladdin fundraiser for Mia Fallon, the 3-year-old who's suffering with leukemia. That's going to be Friday, November 22nd, from 7 to 9:30 in the Saddlebrook High School auditorium. We're also, our holiday tree lighting and Christmas party is Friday, November 29th, 6 p.m. It starts here at Town Hall with the tree lighting, and the party follows immediately afterwards at the Saddlebrook High School gym. Got some congratulations that are in order. First off, I'd like to congratulate my colleague Todd Accamundo for being selected as the 2019 Corrections Officer of the Year by his coworkers. Congratulations, Todd. Larry DeBello Jr. Graduated from the Passaic County Police Academy alternate route program back in, it was the end of September. Saddlebrook High School soccer team won the division championship last week. And I'd like to congratulate Vin Laurentino for being elected, and Mike Accamundo and Angela Robinson for being reelected to the Board of Education. On Monday, November 4th, Recreation Director Andy Gallo and I presented Andrew Picard of Nori Son with a recognition plaque for allowing the township to use their parking lot when we have events, sporting events at Veterans Field. Also on November 4th, at the ARP meeting, members of ARP and Saddlebrook Senior Club presented gift cards to the Saddlebrook Food Pantry. October saw the passing of 4 longtime residents in Saddlebrook that I'd like to mention. Tom Gager, Evelyn Totora, Fred Pellegrini, and Dolores DiBartolo. All 4 of them were longtime residents, and they were individuals that had Saddlebrook in their hearts and interest for many years, and were just very, very nice people, and they'll be missed. Particularly Mrs. DiBartolo. I used to call her Mrs. D. I don't know if anybody knew her, but I'm speaking of her specifically because I know for a fact that she used to watch all these meetings and on TV, and she would always tell me personally all the things in a not so subtle way, what we were doing right and what we were doing wrong. And I'm sure she's looking down on us right now, watching, right, and she'll, believe me, she'll send me some kind of sign to tell me what she thinks. Anyway, happy Thanksgiving. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Councilman.
Thank you, Bob, for the acknowledgement. I would also like to add one person to that we lost, was George Ryerson. His family, deepest sympathies. I would like to thank anyone who showed up for the trunk or treat to volunteer their time and imagination. It was a great showing. Congratulations to my brother, Michael Agamando, Vinny, and Angela. On another note, I have a childhood friend I grew up with. He's looking to donate 20 cooked meals to needy families in Saddlebrook for Thanksgiving. So I just want to say, Saddlebrook High School students, Jake Urbano, Gianna Gerfo, along with the help of their parents, are looking to donate 20 Thanksgiving dinners to Saddlebrook families in need this holiday. The dinners will be delivered to 20 recipients on the day before Thanksgiving, which is November 20th. The dinners will provide pre-cooked and will only need to be heated up and consist of the following: a fully cooked turkey, mashed potatoes, home-style stuffing, gravy, cranberry sauce, vegetables, dinner rolls, and pumpkin pie. It'll serve up to 8 people, so if anybody knows anyone that's in need and doesn't have the money or the funds to do so, you could contact me. The number will be provided on the TV, hopefully, or you can contact James Burbano at james@achandyman.com or Jackie LaGerfo at jlagerfo1001@gmail.com. I think it's a good thing, and if anybody knows anybody that's in need, please don't hesitate to contact them or myself. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Garrett?
Thank you. The mayor did a good job outlining all the events that we had this month. I'd just like to thank all the volunteers. There's too many to mention. There were so many events. Many of those events I attended. It was great for the community. We did have a flood committee meeting on Monday, October 28th. Present at that meeting was the mayor, Pete Ledico, Tom Dickman, Emil Sudol, and myself. Some of the areas of or topics that were covered during the meeting was, again, the rating system, which comes out every September. We discussed hiring a floodplain manager, which would be beneficial to get that rating system rectified and help our residents with their insurance rates, which are extremely high. We're going to be in the process of finalizing our mission statement, and we'll finalize that at our December meeting. Also, we're still waiting on our FEMA brochures, which we discussed hand delivering to the residents. The next meeting will be at the Senior Center on December 16th at 7 o'clock. Any residents that are interested in participating, you're more than welcome. Again, that's December 16th at the Senior Center at 7 o'clock. I'd also like to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman?
I'd like to address a comment that was made tonight about the senior housing. For some reason, certain people are obsessed with what's the number of people from Saddlebrook that got in. All of the people that are moving into the senior housing are now from Saddlebrook. All of us didn't come from Saddlebrook or didn't grow up here, but have become Saddlebrook people when they move in. So I don't know what the big deal is. These are all seniors who it changes their lives and helps them tremendously. So I think it's a great project. I know some of the people that are moving in that weren't from Saddlebrook, and they're extremely happy. And if you take the time, you should go stop in and say hello. The other thing is on the municipal complex. Mr. Ratajczak said we don't talk about it. We have been looking at this for the last 2 years, 2.5 years. This isn't something that we just sat down and said, okay, guys, let's just spend $28 million. That's absurd. It's absurd. We're talking to you. I'm talking to you.
Larry?
No,
it's close to
because
over.
we were doing our,
Larry.
excuse me, we were doing our due diligence
Larry.
during that period. It was brought up, let's put a 5-story building here and an underground parking. Wasn't possible. We have looked at all the possibilities, and there is a need. There is a need for a new fire department. There is a need for a new ambulance corps, and we're getting a rec center. And our court is horrendous. Poor Pete, his office, I mean, I have to bring you into this a little bit, Pete. But sincerely, we have outgrown the building. All the services will be under one roof. I personally feel it's a very good project. I do trust our auditor and our professionals because I think that you would tell us the truth. I would think. So, that is something that I really want to be loud and clear on, and I'm sure you're going to bring up the numbers after this. Okay, I think I covered everything I wanted to, and happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman?
First of all, congratulations to Vinnie Laurentino, Angela Robinson, and Mike Accomando.
Okay. That's it.
Oh,
I know I said I forgot that. Good.
it's okay. For their election, sometimes we know that there could be a disconnect between the town council and the Board of Ed, and we are all together, Board of Ed and the council, working to reconnect and bridge that gap. And I think that we are making strides. We have a liaison, and we are talking, and I think that we, together, everyone has the best interests of Saddlebrook at heart. So I don't think there's going to be a problem, but we do, I speak for the council that we are always willing to talk and to try and work out what's best for the residents of the Saddlebrook and especially the children of Saddlebrook. Congratulations again. Mayor beat me to the punch to Todd Accomando.
Thank you.
And it's not true that they started at Z and went to A when they were choosing the Officer of the Year, so well-deserved. And I know, because I work sometimes in the county, and I deal with a lot of sheriff's officers, and there's no one who has a bad thing to say about Todd. He's very good at his work, and he does a lot of charity work also. So congratulations, and I'm proud to call you my friend.
Thanks.
We have a good contingent of fire and ambulance here, and I appreciate you coming, and I appreciate the support. This is going to be a great project, not only for the fire department, not only for the ambulance corps, who also richly deserve our praise and thanks, but for all residents of Saddlebrook, children, seniors, everybody. We look around the room here, and we know, as Karen has said, we are grossly outdated, and this is not, when you think of Saddlebrook, I think of Saddlebrook very highly. I moved here 35 years ago, and I love the town, and people in my group of friends make fun of me. Mr. Saddlebrook, you always talking about Saddlebrook. I love the town, and I want to see it get better. And this is one way that you can make it better. And one of the ways to do it is to help out our first responders and giving them what they require to provide services to the rest of the town. There's talk about a referendum. We didn't want to spend $500,000 across the street because we thought it should go to referendum. Well, it never went to referendum. Sometimes you get elected to make decisions. It's not a true, pure democracy. Not every single thing goes to the town people. You've elected us to make some of the decisions for you, and a lot of the decisions for you in terms of running this town. Should we buy one-ply toilet paper or two-ply toilet paper? Hey, let's put it in a referendum. A lot of people want one-ply. That's garbage. We get hired, we get elected, we run for this office to try and serve the public, and we get voted in to do what's best, what we feel is best for the community. And I think that everyone on this council doesn't get anything out of a new municipal complex. We don't have our own private offices. There's nothing we get out of this. The information that this the property is from the same people that owned the property at the senior center. Again, another falsehood. It's not true. We hear about why are we letting the same person build the seller. It's built to suit. Well, on other meetings, we hear about how every contractor that we hire is horrible. So we go the other route, and we have a build to suit. We're having the person that's selling the property to us build, and we have oversight of that. But again, that's bad. So you just got to understand that there are some out there that we say black, they say white. It's just a way of doing, it's just a way people are, and believe me, we think that this is in the best interest of the town. Are there people that don't agree and say it costs a lot of money? Does it cost a lot of money? Hell yeah, it costs a lot of money. But if you want a quality product, and you want people to move into Saddlebrook, what do you say to people? Why would you move into Saddlebrook? Well, I think we have a lot of good events. We've got a state-of-the-art field, rec field now, even though people say because 10 square feet of the property looks bad, that it's a horrible design. It's not, it's great. We will have something, when I moved here 35 years ago, and for 35 years, people have been saying, well, you don't have a rec center. Why don't we have a rec center? Lordy's got a rec center, Garfield's got a rec center, Elmwood Park's got, everyone's got a rec center but us. We're gonna get a rec center, and now we're bad people because we want a rec center. We want to make this town better, and better for future people. I'm not gonna be here that long. This is for my kids and other people's children, and this is gonna be a good thing for everyone. We also, you know, it's funny, I was just thinking about it. We went over for 6 months, if you go back and if you're a regular viewer of this, for 6 months, we talked about paving of the little stretch of Mayhill between the light by the Acme going down. I think it's 1,000 feet. We're spending too much money. I can't believe that, no, it was that we were buying the property from people. They were gonna give us the property. We were buying it, they gave it to us. They put in $400,000 worth of improvements to that little stretch of road. And you know what? Turns out that was a pretty damn good investment for us, because that's going to be the front of this municipal complex. We don't have to do that. So, you know, we're not dummies up here. Sometimes we kind of know what we're doing, and we do things not because it makes us better, not because it makes us richer, not because we get accolades, but it's because it's for the best interest of the town. Talked about taxes, and I just want to take the time to just briefly read what we got from our tax assessor. Now, our tax assessor has been under siege sometimes by certain members of the public. I happen to think that he does a good job. So what he's talking about here is this rolling the reassessments that we started a couple of years ago. Okay, this is part of his letter. It, of course, is not always easy to explain what would have happened if circumstances were different and no yearly reassessments. Counterfactorials are hard to quantify, but using hindsight and empirical data below indicates the positive easily outweighs the negatives. Number one, tax rate increases stabilized compared to earlier years. 2, tax appeals, when filed, are given less refunds or credits. 3, Saddlebrook is now the 6th lowest in property taxes in the county out of 70 districts. The township was 16th before reassessment. 16th is pretty damn good, but now we're 6th. The tax court refunds have been drastically cut. We haven't refunded at all since the reassessment, and potential refunds are way down compared to $5 million or so given years before the revaluation. 5, no bonding has occurred to refund tax appeals. And 6, another benefit, lowering the tax on residential property, the higher the resale value of the property. So again, we got questioned and brutalized sometimes up here because of the rolling reassessments. It has helped, and the data shows that out. And lastly, Larry, congratulations, the wedding of your daughter next week. Have a good time there.
Thank you, Councilman. I would just like to put my 2 cents in regarding the project Home Depot. I've sat up here almost 20 years, it'll be 20 years at the end of this year. And for whatever reason, the council could never be on board 100% for anything. I've seen the thermometer come up, I've seen the thermometer come down. My children have outgrown it, my grandchildren probably are not going to use it either. But you know what, we finally we found a site, we have a site that it's a great location for us. Everything came together beautifully. We're in great financial shape. The best we've been in a long, long time. I don't remember it being any better than we are now. And to refute Larry's accusations that he only had 3 minutes. For the past meetings, our work sessions and our open sessions have been unlimited. There's been no time constraints, and you know that, Larry. One meeting you were up there 55 minutes, another one at least 45 minutes, I'm talking. And, you know what, they're on TV. The only ones that have come up here to have any kind of problem with it has been you. I gotta say it. I mean, it's been out there. I think, everybody's on board with it. It's something we need, and I'm happy to be part of it. Thank you. And I'd like to congratulate all the trustees that won, and everyone that came, forward to actually to run in that campaign in the Board of Ed. I give them a lot of credit for doing it. It's not always easy. But congratulations. We look forward to working with each and every one of you. And congratulations, Todd.
Thank you.
And happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Okay, yep, on to ordinances.
Ordinance 1669-19 is an ordinance authorizing the purchase of certain real estate property commonly known as 55 Mayhill Street, Block 801, lots 5.02 and 5.03 in the Township of Saddlebrook for a second reading.
Is there a motion? Second, roll call.
Councilman Simaluka?
Yes.
Councilwoman Derminia?
Yes.
Councilman Garrett?
Yes.
Councilman Accomando?
Yes.
Council President Mason?
Yes.
An ordinance authorizing the purchase of certain real estate property commonly known as 55 Mayhill Street, Block 801, lots 5.02, 5.03 in the Township of Saddlebrook for public hearing.
Is there a motion to open?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The meeting is now open to the public regarding this ordinance. Anyone wishing to be heard, please come up.
It's no time limit, right? For second reading, according to the law. Omar Rodriguez, 275 Madison
Omar,
Avenue.
there is a time.
In second reading,
There's
I
3
can,
minutes.
I can just assure you, check with your attorney. All I'm telling you, it's a second reading. When it's open to the public, there should not be time limit. Just check your legalities before I move forward. I can give you 20 seconds. All right. So there is no time limit, though. I'm telling you, the legality and second reading, there is no time limits. Are you gonna put me on time limit or not? You wish, Council President? I'm just gonna take 5 minutes or less. But I'm telling you, it should not be for second reading, okay? Thank you. First and foremost, I don't think that we are here to condemn or to criticize you. It's just that you guys take it the wrong way, some of you. I just heard 5 council members, you all together put 25 minutes maybe, saying whatever, 3 minutes to hear. But I'm gonna talk about this ordinance. I believe it's semantics more than anything else. Mayor just say about 10 people related or no partisan, Saddlebrook, but right here, I'm just talking about 4 Saddlebrook residents that has been registered before moving into the senior citizen center on Caldwell Avenue. So let's just clear it like that, maybe semantics. But it's nothing that he's doing it against or on purpose or that I'm trying to put you down
Omar, we're
flow.
talking about this ordinance.
Yes, it's related
Okay,
to
I'm
this.
sorry, 'cause you put
It's
a
related
name
to
on.
this because it's the same seller of property. But anyhow, right here it might be the right investment, like the mayor said, it's a good investment. But why do we have to limit ourselves? If we own the property, why do we have to take a building that is 20 years old? Or even more, I guess. But the fire department, ambulance, they need a new building, no question about that. But why to limit ourselves? If we own the land, why do we have to encroach ourselves? Why don't we knock it down and do or build a new building? Why do we have to do what they're telling us to do? What about if that building is not sound? Do you think that they are going to tell you that building is not sound? How many times, like one of the council members said, that we got horrible builders. What does it tell you that this is not a horrible builder in the past that have done work in Saddlebrook? So there is a lot of questions on if you're going to purchase the land, that's fine. But do not, I don't think that do not limit yourself with the building. You can do whatever you want. If the building, if the fire department needs a lot of trucks to fit into that building, allow them. But why to put 4 walls and limit yourself with the size of the building? We're going to own the entire land. If you're going to purchase something, you should be able to do it. But anyhow, I don't have much. I just got one more thing. On this one, $300,000 worth of education goes for a referendum. $28 million. I think that the taxpayers, you feel comfortable, you should have put it into referendum. Taxpayers should have a say, because it's going to be for many, many, many years to come that they're going to have to be paying. I'm not against the purchase. I'm just against the people. The same people that you're going to purchase the building are the same people that are going to build it. I believe that makes a conflict of interest, because you cannot be buying and allowing the same person to build it. $28 million just to start. But when this finished with all the change of orders, it's going to be a lot more money. So again, listen, do what is best for the town. And I know that you have Saddlebrook at heart. It's just maybe a miscommunication the way I come, because I speak from the heart. However, I do not mean to fight with any of you. I'm just trying to be here to open your eyes and just look it from a different point of view. All our services are in desperate need of new buildings, but if we own it, we can expand that building instead of just being inside a square box. Thank you very much for all your time. Happy Thanksgiving. Merry Christmas again. Have a wonderful 2020, and especially a healthy one. Good night, all.
Through the chair, oh, my, hang on. I just want to understand something. You're saying to build here.
No. To build on the same, right there, where is the former Home Depot, whatever.
Okay, all right. I thought you
But
meant
just to
build here.
knock it down, right there, to knock it down and build yourself. Why to limit yourself and just build within that square box? Who tells you that that square box is sound? Right now, it's been more than 20 years old. So you're not giving them a new building. Who tells you that 10, 15 years from now, 20 years from now, that building is too old already and have to be knocked down? If it's your building, purchase the land, knock it down, and build it as you please. The fire department need a bigger space. We have plenty of space up there, acres of space. But why to limit within 4 walls? Why? That building as it is old already, and $28 million is a lot of money. That's just to begin. But at the end, I can assure you that it will go up, most likely more than $35 million. Thank you all again for your time.
Thank you.
Just through the chair.
Yes,
Yeah, just to clarify, there is a time limit as set by the governing body, so it is the 3 minutes.
the 3 minutes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to be heard on this ordinance?
Through the chair.
Yes.
I think we should give Larry the same amount of time that Omar got, 5 minutes, I guess.
Forget about it. You guys
5
voted on
minutes.
it already.
5 minutes.
Like I said, Flo, I disagree with you when you say I spoke for 55 minutes. The time to talk is now during the meeting, not during the work session. Okay? No, not,
Why?
well, because the people out there that don't get to go to the meetings, like the mayor said, and watches it, they don't hear what goes on at the work session. They don't hear what goes on. They wait for the meeting. In a meeting, you're limited to 3 minutes. So what do I gotta do? I gotta condense something from 55 minutes to 3 minutes. Doesn't work that way. There are people that don't, well, I mean, you see, tonight's a big turnout. If I was getting a new building built for me too, I'd come out too and support it and say, and pat you on the back and say I'm for you and I'm with you and everything else. Yeah, I mean, it's only common sense that these guys are out here doing it. And like I heard some of them talking before, there's a big crack in one of the firehouses. I don't know which one they're talking about. Look at this building. How old is this building? This building's not 20 years old. This building's more than 20 years old. What happens when we start getting cracks in the floor, cracks in the walls and stuff like that? Is the contractor coming back? And Mr. Simaluk, I disagree with you when you said, look at that contractor that came in and did $400,000 worth of road repairs and sewers and everything else. That is the same guy, the same developer with different companies. He owns about 15 different companies. You shake your head all you want, but if you do the research, you'll find out it all comes back to him. Okay? And that's what you have to do. You have to follow the corporations, and you follow them and you see. And that's why he did $400,000 worth of work for free, because he knew he was socking it to you in 2 years if you had the idea to buy that building. That's why on the tax rolls, it went from $7 million to $10 million. I still can't get an answer on that. How did that building improve in 2 years from $7 million to $10 million? How did it do? And we're telling them, oh, it's redevelopment, it's old, this is bad, this, we pointed out all the bad things, but yet the property went up $7 million. And I'm not making the numbers up because they're printed and they're available from the tax assessor, who's doing such a great job for us. Okay? They're there. The numbers are there. And this is what I want answers from you people, but I get 5 stunned faces. This guy talked to you about flooding. You knew that flooding was going on in PJ's house for 15 years. Don't look like you all knew about that subject for that guy. You know what the problem is there. Fairland
Larry,
don't
can we
want the
stay
water
on this
going their
ordinance,
way.
please? We're
But I'm
talking about
just
this
telling you,
ordinance.
these are the
Again.
examples that I'm using now. That's not work session talk. What answers did you have for that guy? Same that you had 15 years ago for PJ. We had the engineers there. Lou was mayor, his best friend. Lou used to park his car in his garage until it flooded. So don't say you're not aware of it, you don't know what's going about it, or the engineer don't know about it. Because this is the 3rd engineer since that place
Larry,
was in
can you
office.
please stay on the
Okay,
Home
but
Depot?
I'm saying the
Tom,
same
we're giving
thing's
you
gonna
extra time
happen
for Home Depot,
with
not to
the same
ramble
things,
on.
I'm afraid is gonna happen with this Home Depot. We're gonna get involved here with this guy, we come out on the short end all the time. All the time. Vets Field, senior housing, now Home Depot, okay? That's 3 land swaps. That was like a Manhattan Island deal with the Indians when they swapped the land. That's what it reminds me of when we work with this guy. We always come out on the short end. And this is what we're heading for. We're heading for disaster. And like Omar said, it's not gonna be $28 million. Are we gonna put a cap on the construction? Where it can go, and then we say, oh, we're not able to finish that part of the building, or we're not able to pave the parking lot. We're not able to do this. Are we capping it at that? Or we just having open end, like we do, give open checkbooks? What are we doing? Are we capping it?
Yes,
At what?
28 million.
28 million. We're capping it. Not a penny over. And the project will be complete.
Yes.
To like I say, I still don't.
You know, through the chair, Larry, can I just ask you something? Because I
Sure.
worked in a commercial real estate office
Go ahead.
for 16 years.
Go ahead.
And the owner of the company, he was a builder also. He built millions of square feet. And these buildings were built, and 20 years later, they're doing new build-to-suits.
To build what?
They're putting you're a new company, you want to come in this building. He built this 20 years ago. You want 6 offices, a conference room.
Right.
He comes in and he does it. We are making sure that the walls and the cracks, and there will be a new roof, and there will be new heating and air conditioning.
But Karen, if I had a choice of taking a brand-new building from the ground up, rather than take a 30-year-old building and retrofitting it, I would go for the brand-new building.
Okay,
What's
now,
the difference
wait,
now?
let me stop you there.
Okay, wait, let me finish. What's the difference? You're not asking us our opinion or for our vote of 28 million. We might as well go 48 million. What difference does it make? What difference does it make? If this guy's giving us a bargain for $200, for $400 a year, let's go for the 48 million and build the Taj Mahal. And everything is new. Everything is new. If that's how cheap money is, think about it. If 28 million is going to cost you 200, 56 million should cost you 400. Don't you think that's the smart move? And everything is new?
No, because
Like
it's
you
more
said,
money, Larry,
it's
to
more
to
money.
Oh, it's more
knock
money,
the
but like I say,
building
money's
down
cheap.
and put up a new building. You're not making sense.
I'm not, no, but
you know-
Karen, I'm telling you what's the pros and the cons. You're taking an old building.
I
and you're giving it- it's like
understand
taking
that,
an old
but I
car and giving it
just
a paint
told
job.
you.
That's what you're
that
doing.
It's done all the time, and it is not the same owner. You keep saying that.
Well,
He
if
is
you
not
do the work-
same
If
owner.
you do the work, I know you people don't like to work, but if you
Okay,
do the
see
work,
again, Larry,
you'll
you're
find out.
insulting.
I'm what?
You're insulting. We do our due diligence.
Well, I'm
He
telling you,
is not
Karen, just
part
like you
of
told
OBEL.
me, the police station, I said was built
All right,
on
Larry.
in a flood zone.
There we go.
It's
There
not,
we go.
because you
There-
didn't do
you
your
voted
homework.
on it, though, didn't you?
I voted on it, yeah.
But again,
Okay.
we're off
Okay.
what we're
Right,
supposed to.
because you said it was in a flood
Okay,
zone.
We gave you
It's
plenty of
not.
time, your time's up, thank you. Next, someone else wishing to be heard?
You do your homework.
Anyone else on this ordinance? No.
Just
Wait, let me close it
response.
first.
Okay, close it.
Motion to close?
Motion to close.
Second? All in
Second.
favor? Yes, Councilman.
Month in and month out, we hear about, it's the same owner. It's not. We're buying this from Visions. Visions is not OBEL. The reason that there's also talk about it went from 7 million to 10 million. Well, I guess OBEL, and he's been, Pat Al is gone for a while, but his family, I guess. It might have been appraised for $7 million. The new people bought it, and they bought it for 10 million. We're buying it from them for less than what they bought it for. We're buying it for 9.4. The property itself is $9.4 million. So to say that we're getting bamboozled is just not true. It went up in value because someone at that point thought it was worth $10 million. A property is worth what somebody will pay for it. And they thought it was worth $10 million, so they paid for it. We didn't pay $10 million. They're not profiting, they're not getting more money from us than they paid for it, they're losing money. And when that property, the street was ceded to us and they did the improvements, it was not that owner, it was a different owner. So, like I said, a lot of misinformation is coming out. You can't say at one point that $28 million is crazy numbers, and then 10 seconds later say spend $100 million. $28 million, again, somebody talked about change orders. Well, one of the reasons that you have a bill to sue is there is no change orders, because they have a contract, they have to build it for X amount of dollars. That's what it is. They don't come, it's not like we hire someone and they say, oh geez, we didn't know there was gonna be a gas line there, so now it's gonna be an extra $400,000. No. Your property, you're building it, any problems, it's your problem, you've gotta pay for it. And again, the $28 million, that is including everything. We put in for furniture and architectural costs and security. That $28 million is not the cost of building and the property. Hopefully it's less, but it's easier to bond for a little bit more and stay within that parameter than it is to underbond and then have to come back and say, listen, we're off by $1 million. So we don't expect it to go over $28 million. We don't even expect it to be $28 million. And in terms of the cost of the property, we had it appraised. Our appraiser thinks that it's a good deal, that we're getting a good deal. In terms of the cost for construction, we've had people look at it and run the numbers. And our people are telling us that we're getting a good deal. I mean, do we come out and say certain things? Well, we can't, because certain things are in contract negotiations. But we feel as a council, from talking to our professionals, who sometimes are kind of land-based unfairly, that both the purchase price of the property and the cost for building that they are charging us, they're good prices, and that we got a good deal on this. And hopefully, everything will work out for the best.
Thank you, Councilman.
Can I
Yeah,
go
sure.
through the chair again? While we have the auditor here, I think at this point, can you just go over the numbers of the cost?
Just
Well-
through the chair, before he goes through the numbers, Larry, you sit there and you tell these people, these poor people that came up here, it's disheartening what they're going through. We did know what they were going through. But to sit there and tell those people that we're liars?
What people?
That we're here from Midland. But hold on a second, that's BS to tell people that we're lying to them. We're not lying to them. First of all, we did do what we need to do. The town did fix the problem. The town fixed the problem. Engineer went there, and now they came here and told us, surprisingly, we didn't know that there's a crack in that pipe. We had no idea there was a crack in that pipe. The engineer went there, fixed the problem the town had with the issue, and it was fine. For you to sit there and tell them that we're liars, it was fixed. The engineer came here with a report and told us it was fixed. I don't know.
He lives there. You know, he only lives next door.
All right, that's fine, but we were told by the engineer it was fixed, the problem was
We've been
fixed.
told, again, by your professional.
Okay, he's a professional, but to sit there and say that we're lying to them, come on, Larry.
Well, if you don't believe you're a professional, go walk the neighborhood, ask the residents. Say, does your yard flood? Go there when it rains.
I'm gonna walk to every house in town when it rains.
PJ gets 3 feet of water.
And I didn't even know who PJ was 15 years ago, so we're saying to the residents that we knew what's been going on for 15 years
You know what the
is
problem
bull.
is, Todd? The water's supposed to go to Fairlawn, and Fairlawn won't take the water, and it's too expensive to run it over the railroad tracks into Elmwood Park, and they don't want the water. It's too big of a project, and that's what we were told, honestly, by the engineer.
And we were told honestly by our engineer, right or wrong, that it was fixed. So now for these,
We think these people lie?
I'm not saying that, but for them to come here and say tonight that it was broken, we weren't known that the pipe was broken. And I'm sure the engineer wasn't known it was broken. So, but the whole thing that pisses me off is that you're telling people that we're lying to them. We're not lying to nobody. We're telling what we were told by our professionals.
For 15 years, and it never stopped flooding.
You know what?
15 years.
It did stop
Councilman-
flooding briefly.
Well, hold on a minute.
did
Hold on,
stop at a
okay.
point from our
I just don't
engineer.
want to get into a debate.
No,
with that,
I understand
because
it,
you
I
know
just
there's-
don't like being called a liar.
I
We
hear
didn't even
ya.
know what was going on.
Councilman, and we get it, but you know there's no winning with him, so.
No, there is,
I don't want to
he's understanding, but
debate.
I just don't like the
Just
fact that you
listen.
called us all liars. It's
Well,
not
did
true.
you
Doesn't matter,
answer
it calls us
the
everything.
He had a valid complaint. You all knew about it, you were all
Okay.
aware about it.
Through the chair,
Okay, yes.
I just want to say one thing, I don't want to debate back and forth. They had a legitimate complaint, okay? It's more complicated than just what you're trying to make it out. That and yes, the engineer did come up with a fix, it seemed like it worked, okay? And apparently there's other problems there, all right? Now, I feel bad, because I spoke to them, when I left, I went and spoke to them. I didn't want them to have to stay here all night and waste their time. I'm setting up a meeting next week with the engineer. I'm upset because, well, they obviously were not happy with me because they felt that I wasn't getting back to them. But what I figured out in speaking to them is they've been emailing someone, not in this office, okay? And I wasn't getting the message. The last message I got, like I told her, and she said August, and it was early August, okay? So I haven't heard anything since, but she's been emailing someone, and they haven't been getting back to her. They haven't been telling us, they haven't been telling me, my secretary, or Pete Ladico, the
Yes.
business administrator. So we are going to, we're gonna rectify this problem. You know what, and they have a legitimate complaint, and we're gonna resolve it. You know, I somehow we'll resolve it. So,
That's fine.
anyway, thank you, Todd, for bringing that up. I don't like being called a liar either. It's always more complicated, you know what, Larry, you like to just throw out these things
I'm not throwing
without
it.
having the facts,
I
again,
used the wrong words.
again.
You people were aware of it.
You know,
And sat on it. And sat on it for 15 years. Okay? Hoping that it would go away.
That's not true either.
I told you. You don't say.
Well, I like to think that my administration, we've been trying to rectify the problem. And we're partly there.
From what the engineer charged you to fix that situation and go back and say, what did you charge us for? What did you fix? Not saying it's their engineer.
Are we,
Yeah.
where are we?
I'm sorry,
To do a motion?
we'll talk later about that.
Comments?
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
comments.
did we pass the ordinance,
No.
second reading? Oh, let's
We
pass
just
it,
closed
and
to
then
the
we'll
public.
have could we do it that way? Pass
Whatever
it
way you
and
want,
then-
sure.
Whatever we want to,
Well, I
okay.
want Steve to at least get a chance to,
Okay,
so vote on it first.
okay, we'll vote on it first.
Be resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Brook that the ordinance entitled, an ordinance authorizing the purchase of certain real property commonly known as 55 Mayhill Street, Block 801, lots 5.02 and 5.03 in the Township of Saddlebrook. This is now passed on second and final reading, and that the Township Clerk be directed to advertise said ordinance or title thereof in the press, together with the notice of the date of passage of said ordinance according to law.
Motion to
Mo-
pass.
Motion,
Second.
second, roll call.
Councilman Samaluka. Councilwoman DeArminio.
Yes.
Councilman Garrett.
Yes.
Councilman Alcomondo.
Yes.
Council President Mason.
Yes.
Ordinance passed.
Okay, so ordinance is passed. Yes.
Yeah, if you would. It keeps going on. You keep turning it,
Okay, thank you.
please.
Councilwoman.
You came and I feel as I did. Thank you.
So, the first point I'll make is, the conversation about the cost. Just by reference, I have another client, different town, building something without a gym. And the architect's estimate is over $18 million for a smaller project. This is less than $15 million for a bigger project. Just as point of reference, part of the difference, I believe, is what you're doing turnkey versus going out for public bid. And then being stuck with the lowest bidder and going through the trials and tribulations that you went through with your field and some other things. In terms of this project, we're staging the debt service to fold in over 3 years. 2020, 2021, and 2022. The reason that works for us is that in 2021, the 2010 bond issue is paid off. $500,000 comes off the budget. In 2021, the 2013 tax refunding bond ordinance for $300,000 also comes off the books. In 2024, the 2017 tax refunds, $375,000, come off the books. In addition, we've been enrolling notes on other projects for a number of years and paying principal payments. Those notes are going to be rolled into a general obligation bond issue as well, and there's over $900,000 that's currently being paid on the notes that's going to come off the books. What that all means is, by those older debt issues being paid off and staging this project in over 3 years, the increase is staged in over 3 years, and the total increase is $203 over 3 years to the average residential taxpayer that's at about $343,000. That's the cost.
So let me ask you something
Sure.
though. So we're gonna purchase the property, that's the first thing we're doing.
Correct.
So then you're going to the Bergen County Finance and,
Okay, the transaction, which has already been approved by the Bergen County Improvement Authority and by the freeholders, we're gonna go to the local finance board, it looks like in December, to get their approval. The financing will get done probably the beginning of February next year. We borrow the money, it goes to a trustee
for the purchase or the
for
28?
the whole project.
The whole project.
The purchase price for the property, the deposit on the construction will get paid as well at that point. The money's with the trustee being invested, earning interest, and there'll be monthly, I would assume, either bi-weekly or monthly drawdowns paid to the contractor based on the engineer's certificate and the architect's certificate in terms of what's been done and what's been completed and what they're due. And so it takes the money away from the town in terms of it goes to the trustee, they release the money based on the certification of the engineer, and they pay the contractor.
And then, so the finance board is paying the contractor as to what is.
The trustee, well, the trustee, yeah, right.
But it's our bond.
Oh, it's your money.
No, our money,
The interest that's earned accrues to the town.
okay.
And again, when the project's completed, any money that's left will be set aside to pay down debt service.
Okay.
That's the way it works. That's after we're all done buying all the equipment, all the computers, all the desks, all the gym stuff, all the other accoutrements, whatever's left has to go to pay the debt service. It can't be used for anything else.
Through the chair, if this, let's just throw out a number of $1 million, okay, bonding for 28, and altogether the cost, including everything, is 27. Does that $1 million go directly to them in one lump sum to pay down the debt?
No,
what-
it'll probably be, there's tax issues that come into play, arbitrage and tax issues. That'll be decided at that time by bond counsel. The best way to do it, to make sure we comply with all the tax laws.
Through the chair.
Yes.
Steve, I'm going to ask you the same question I asked you last month, I believe it was, in regards to the rate, so the viewers, if they didn't catch the meeting, in regard to the current rate situation.
Oh, well, number one, by utilizing the financing through the Improvement Authority with the county guarantee, the county's bond rating is the highest there is, AAA, which guarantees getting the best rate on the day that the debt is sold. To your point, the interest rates on long-term paper, debt, bonds, is the best it's ever been. The short-term rates are not as good as they used to be. The interest rates are kind of inverted in terms of you could sell one-year paper and the coupon's gonna be anywhere between 1.5% to 2.5%. You're gonna sell this issue in today's market over the 27 or so years we're selling it, and that interest rate will be probably in the middle threes, the net interest rate. Now, what it'll be the end of January, beginning of February, who knows, but the conventional wisdom is that as long as the national situation is the way it is, the markets have been kind of weary of short-term, what's going on, but very confident that long-term, things will get back to the way they were.
Any other concern? No? Good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Okay, ordinance, for first reading is ordinance 1670-19. It's an ordinance amending chapter 206 of the Township of Saddlebrook Code entitled Zoning Affordable Housing Districts for first reading.
Have a motion?
Motion?
Second? Roll call?
Councilman Samaluka?
Yes.
Councilwoman Dorminio?
Yes.
Councilman Garrett?
Yes.
Councilman Accomando?
Yes.
Council President Mason?
Yes.
An ordinance amending Chapter 206 of the Township Code of the Township of Saddlebrook entitled Zoning Affordable Housing Districts. Heretofore passed on first reading, will be further considered for final passage at a meeting to be held on the 5th day of December 2019 at 7:00 p.m. or sooner after, as the matter can be reached at the Municipal Building, 903 Market Street. And at such time and place, all persons interested be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance according to law, with the notice of its introduction and passage on first reading, and of the time and place when and where said ordinance will be further considered for final passage. Before we introduce the mayor, had asked me if I could say a few words on this. As many of us realize, in many towns, we've been going through affordable housing, and since COA does not exist in the state, we've been actually going through the courts to have a judge rule on the affordable housing. Saddlebrook is in the final steps of that process. Once we're approved by the court, we will be approved through the year 2025, which means we will not be subject to builder's remedies, as some of the other towns have had, and we have had in the past. What this ordinance is doing is another piece of that by designating a piece of property on Midland Avenue, near Route 46, where currently there are apartments being built. It was originally zoned B1, and now that would be zoned for apartments, which would include affordable housing with a ratio of 15 units per acre. And this is being done before we go to court in the next couple of weeks as part of the agreement.
Thank you for that clarification. Any other comments on this?
Need a motion?
Perfect. We have a motion?
Motion to pass.
Second?
Second.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilman Samaluka?
Yes.
Councilwoman D'Arminio?
Yes.
Councilman Garrett?
Yes.
Councilman Accomando?
Yes.
Council President Mason?
Yes.
Next ordinance is an ordinance to amend and supplement the provisions of Chapter 183 Swimming Pools Private of the Township Code of the Township of Saddlebrook for first reading.
Motion?
Motion to give a first reading.
Second.
Second? Roll call?
Councilman Maluka.
Yes.
Councilwoman Darminio.
Yes.
Councilman Garrett.
Yes.
Councilman Accomando.
Yes.
Council President Mays.
Yes.
Be resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Saddlebrook that an ordinance to amend and supplement the provisions, Chapter 183, swimming pools private of the Township Code of the Township of Saddlebrook, heretofore passed on first reading, be further considered for final passage at a meeting to be held on the 5th day of December 2019 at 7:00 p.m. or soon thereafter as the matter can be reached at the Municipal Building, 93 Market Street, and that at such time and place all persons interested be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance according to law, with the notice of its introduction and passage on first reading, and of the time and place when and where said ordinance will be further considered for final passage.
Do a motion?
Second.
Second. Roll call.
Councilman Maluka?
No.
Councilwoman Darminio?
Yes.
Councilman Garrett?
Yes.
Councilman Accomando?
Yes.
Council President Mays.
Yes.
All items listed with an asterisk are considered routine and non-controversial by the Township Council and will be approved by one motion. There will be no separate discussion on these items unless a council member or members so request it, in which case the item or items will be removed from the consent agenda and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda. The one motion signifies adoption of all resolutions, receive and file letters, correspondence, reports, and approval of minutes and applications. Not part of the consent agenda, resolution number 7. And as we discussed at the work session, we'll be adding on the over 2,500, Ken's Tree Service for removal of a tree.
Do a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Maluka?
Yes.
Councilwoman Darminio?
Yes.
Councilman Garrett?
Yes.
Councilman Accomando?
Yes.
Council President Mays.
Yes.
We have the authorized payment of bills for Stonebrook, and Council President Mazer is now reclusing herself and leaving the dais. Do we have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
And we have one recluse. Thank you. Come back.
Mr. Chair, I just have one question. The Ken's Tree Service bill, is that going to be passed along?
Yes, there'll be a municipal lien on it for the property.
Could you just explain that? I could, but just
Sure.
want to.
In the past, and we've done it with grass or with property maintenance, we have a tree that's been deemed dangerous on a private piece of property, which the home is vacant. We will now go ahead, remove the dangerous tree on the property. And what we do is we put what we call a municipal lien. The cost is put on the property, and the property is sold before the closing. That's a priority, and that gets paid at the time of closing. The municipality, and this happens in all towns, will get the reimbursement once the property sells.
Anybody, old business? Anyone? New business?
I have,
Yes, Mayor.
first of all, I want to thank Tom for mentioning Georgie Ryerson. I can't believe I forgot his, he was a great friend of mine, and really a great friend to the town. The type of guy that always defended the town, real town spirit, and just think he helped a lot of people over the years that were struggling. So I just can't believe I forgot him, but, my condolences to his family and friends. I'm going to read a statement that, a press release regarding, we had an incident at the high school involving a 17-year-old student that made a threat on Snapchat, and there was quite a bit of hysteria over it, and on social media and in town. There was a notice that was sent out by the school. The threat occurred on Monday, this Monday. There was a notice that was sent out by the school late on Tuesday. But anyway, I'm just gonna read this so the public knows about it. There's gonna be an article in the Bergen Record tomorrow, and there was an article that was online that was shared by the town Facebook, by the Daily Voice. But anyway, I'm going to read this so the public that's watching knows. The Saddlebrook Police Department has charged the 17-year-old high school student with juvenile delinquency in connection with a disturbing Snapchat message he posted on Monday, November 4th, 2019. The boy, whose name will not be released because of his age, he's a minor, was taken into custody and charged with making terroristic threats, cyber harassment, and harassment. Immediately upon becoming aware of the disturbing post, this was Monday, police and school officials initiated a joint investigation and determined that although there was no immediate credible threat, extra precautions would be taken to ensure the safety of the students and staff. A notice was emailed and posted on Saddlebrook School District website. A notice was emailed and posted on the Saddlebrook School District website informing parents and residents of the incident. School was in session as planned on Wednesday, November 6th, with additional police presence at all schools, which will continue once school reopens next Tuesday. The Township and School District have a zero-tolerance policy against any threats or acts of violence. The police department and school officials will continue to closely monitor any threats made and hope to find a balance between addressing these threats and maintaining a calm environment for our students. It's really all I could say, and the police department could say, or the school district, because he is a juvenile. So I feel that enough's been done with this, and that this youth will be monitored. And he also was, right now he's suspended from school. That was a question that was asked. It wasn't in the article, but the school district had confirmed that he's suspended right now, pending, I guess, clearance. So, which we'll see what happens. Now it's really in the courts and the school districts. The decision's up to the school district to decide what's going to happen as far as him being admitted back to school.
Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome.
New business?
Yes.
Best practices, it's an annual report that the state asks each municipality to put out. For Saddlebrook, anything that's 30 and above is very good. We get all our state aid for the year, and we scored 44.5 out of slightly over 50 questions that count towards the survey. Some of the questions that are asked are, you lose a point, and I'm just going to use this as an example. One of the questions they ask is, do we do once-a-week garbage pickup? Of course, in Saddlebrook, we do twice a week, and we've looked into once-a-week pickup for saving money, and when we went out to bid, there really wasn't much of a savings. But the answer is no, so we lost a point. There were some questions like that because it's a statewide program with the questionnaire, it's not tailor-made for certain towns or certain criteria. But we did, as usual, we did do a great score. We're going to receive our full state aid, and I just wanted to publicly acknowledge that.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay. No other business. A motion to open the meeting to the public.
Motion.
For agenda items.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Meeting is now open to the public for agenda items. Anyone wishing to be heard? Seeing no one, motion to close.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Righty. Motion to close.
Motion to close.
Motion to adjourn. Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Night, everyone. We'll see everyone at the tree lighting will be next, right? Yep.